everyone, this is Anna from All DIY Crafts, and I found a really cool logo on Etsy, but I needed to adjust it a little bit so that I could personalize it, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that now. So what I did was I went to Etsy.com and I put in Nurse Starbucks SVG, and these came up. And they had a couple different logos, but I kind of like this one, and it's by Be Happy D. And so it comes with this and this design. This part comes as is, so you really can't change it around at all. So I thought I would go ahead and show you how you could do that. So what I did was I purchased it and I uploaded it to my Design Space, and I will now put it on the canvas. And so I'm going to move this part over here. I'm going to keep this here. This is the finished product, but I'm going to show you how I did it. And then I'm going to move this one over here. So the first thing I did was I took shapes and I picked a circle and I made the circle larger. And you can actually make it as large as you want, especially if it's easier for you to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and make that green. And then I'm going to take another circle and I am going to place that inside my first circle. And I'm actually working on this little rim right here. So I'm going to try to make that look as good as I can. And remember, you're going to be cutting this on vinyl, so you don't want to make it so small that it's like a sliver. So just big enough that you can still weed it. There we go. And now I'm going to choose both of them and I'm going to click slice. And I'm going to move it out. And I'm going to delete that one. So now I need to work on this middle part where it says nurses or Anna's, and I need to make sure that I make this white line again a little thin here. So let's see here. There we go. To make a new circle. We're going to put it off to the side here. So this looks about how I'm going to want that. So I'm going to make this, oops, not that one. I'm going to make this one green. Now what I need to do is I need to cut another one out. The first thing I need to do before I forget is I need to attach these. Whenever you're going to slice a piece out, you can only slice one piece out. So right now I have two individual moving pieces here. They need to be together or I will not be able to cut a new circle out. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select both of these and I'm going to click weld, and so now they're one piece. Okay, so now I have this part done, and now I'm working on this part. So I need to move this backwards. You want to put your new circle on top. Now I'm kind of working on the band to where I'm going to be putting words into. I don't want that so thin that the words are going to, remember, it's going to be about this size when you put it on the cup. It's not going to be this size. So even though you can see it a lot better right now, that's not what it's going to look like. So I like to give myself a little bit of cushion here. And that looks pretty good. Actually, I might do a little bit more. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these and I'm going to click slice. And I think we're done with our circles, I think. Let me move this out of the way and we'll see. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to move our little logo in here and see how that fits. You can either do it by her or by the circle, however. So the one thing I'm noticing here is I don't believe she is a complete circle, but that's okay. I think she's a little oblong, but that's okay. We can make it work. I think if you're making these for your friends, they'll just appreciate that you gave them a coffee cup. Okay, so that to me looks pretty good. Now we're going to have to work on doing the stars. That's our next venture here. So what I try to do is I try to find this curve right here and I'm going to select both of these, and I want to put this curve right on a grid line so that I can follow it. So I'm just going to move it up a little bit so we can see it, but there you go. There, right on the grid line. And I'm going to go to shapes. I'm going to click star. There we are. And I'm going to move this, first of all, make it smaller because I know it's going to be a lot smaller than that. And I want it on this grid line. So I want those a little bit smaller here. Okay. And that looks pretty good. Now, if I do this and I try to slice, you notice I can't because I have 1, 2, 3. I can only have 2. So I'm going to hide her. Now I have 2. I have this and I have this. So I'm going to go ahead and select it, and now I can slice. Before I do that, I'm going to duplicate this because I have the star the size I like it. I almost forgot to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure I have both selected, and now I'm going to click slice and get this out of here. Now I could have just saved this and moved it over here, but sometimes I think when I'm dragging it I might be accidentally slightly resizing it, so that's why I duplicate one of these. And then I'm going to go up to here, and this was our line. I'm going to move this big ring back so I can see it. Okay, so let's do this. And now we're going to click slice, and now we're going to move that star out. So now we have our stars. And we can unhide her, and so far so good. Actually, we'll keep her up right now. Now we're going to be doing the wording. So I'm going to go to text, and for me the best text for me doing this logo was Arial Black regular. I'm going to write my name, all caps, and I'm going to move it up here. You know what, I think we're going to move this logo down a little bit. Just move everything down so I'm not stuck in that grid there. Okay. So it looks like my letters are a good size. Now at this point, if I want, I can make them closer together, farther apart, however I want. The most important thing to me right now, first of all, I'm going to move this out of the way. You see these grid lines. I'm going to center, I'm going to try to center as best I can. There we go. So I have this as a kind of a grid line. This will be my middle point right here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and curve it. I have it selected. I'm going to hit the curve, and then we're going to go down. Or I could go up, but I don't want to do that, so we're going to go down. So now you can see how it's a little off here. We can rotate it, just like that. We don't want this part to touch anything. So now when you're playing with this, making it smaller and bigger, another thing that you can do is you can use the cursor on your keyboard if it's too hard for you to move it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it just a bit smaller. I'm going to put it right about here, and I'm actually happy with that. So for me to cut this, I'm going to have to hide her again. Let's find her. And we're going to select this. And then we're going to click slice. And we'll get Anna's out of there. And it's coming together. Okay, so now we're going to go to text, and we're going to do coffee, all in capital letters again. And we know we're going to have to make it a little bit smaller. We will place it up here. I can tell it's already too big because the F's are already touching the top and bottom. I'll make it a little smaller here. Okay, that's a little bit better, and you can see my cursor was right there on that line, that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to, if you can't get over here to click it, you can always come here to click and highlight this. So now we're going to click curve. Now it's important to note you only can curve one line of text at a time. So if you had a big phrase here, Anna's cup of coffee, and you try to curve it all at the same time, it's not going to happen. So you can only do one line at a time. Oops, there we go. Looks like it needs to be a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. And see, this is why I wanted you to give yourself enough room with this band here. Okay, this E is still touching here, so I'm going to use my cursor and see if I can't move it down a smidge. There. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Oh, nope, my F's are there. There we go. Maybe we should. So this is what's great. I'm going to move them out a little bit, and I think that's going to help with our spacing here, maybe. But again, this is why you want to give this green band here, you want to give yourself plenty of room to work. Okay, that to me looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to hide her. We're going to select, and then we're going to slice. And there we go. So now we have that gone. We can put her back in there. Now, if you wanted to do two different vinyls, you could. You could do black and green on a white cover, what have you. Again, this is let me show you. Whatever the color cup is underneath, this is what's going to be on top. Of course, it depends on your green and your black, but it should show through. But just know that this is how it would look. So we'll go ahead and we will make this white again. And then the last thing I would do is I first of all want to resize. So I know mine is going to be about 4 by 4. So I'll get to there. If you can do bigger, some of them are like 5 or 6s, that's awesome. What I want to do now is if I hit make it, let me get rid of these. I'm going to have 2 different vinyls. Okay. I prefer to just do one color. That's what I want to do today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click this, and I'm actually going to say, I can say attach or weld. If it's attach, if I say make it, it's going to be the same thing. And there we go. So this is Anna from All DIY Crafts, and that's how you would be adjusting this logo. If you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. And please like and subscribe if you like this video. Again, if there's another project that you want to see done, I'm happy to do it. Just let me know. You guys have a really great week.